today's show, the Dallas Mavericks get the win against the OKC Thunder, go up 2-1 in this series, and the Mavs are playing their game right now. They look like the better team, and PJ Washington looks like the better player. We'll talk about all that and more today. Locked on Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked on Mavericks podcast.
Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager at the Locked On Podcast Network, where we
take your word for it. I can't hear.
Let it ride. That's right. Let it ride.
I thought I saw Lou Dort walking here, but it was just a little child. I just got Lou Dort confused with a little child flopping up and down the court.
Thanks for being part of the show and making Locked On Mavs your first listen today, where the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, leave a 5-star review on any podcast platform, like the video on YouTube, and comment anything below. Comment anything below on Locked On Mavs, then go to Locked On Thunder and just put Mavs 2-1. That's it. Mavs 2-1.
That's just a factual statement.
Simple fact. It's a fact. That's all we need right now.
Yeah.
That's all we need right now. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use that code LockedOnNBA for first deposit match up to $100. And joining me here in the AAC, the man himself, he must be good luck. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
2-0 in the American Airlines Center this postseason.
That's right.
I'll be at Game 5 in OKC.
Could
be. Who knows? Who knows what that could be? We could be wearing all black and just say it. But feeling pretty good about today's game for the Mavericks, considering I don't even think they played that great of a basketball game offensively, at least.
The Mavs did not. Mavs played their own game. We'll talk about how the Mavericks played their game, the version of of basketball that the Mavericks can win. We'll talk about what Luka did in this game. We'll talk about Kyrie and his contributions late in this game. Luka and Kyrie, 22 points each. But we got to start with maybe the best player in the game. At least in the first half, he was the best player that played in this game, and that is PJ Washington Jr. He was incredible in this game.
Has he been the best player on the Mavericks?
I mean,
the last two games of this series?
In the series, has he been the best player? I guess so. Because
I said on the last post, I was like, if you didn't know any better and you just watched this game, game 2 for the first time, you'd be like, oh, PJ Washington's like an all-star caliber third option guy. If this was your first game, you'd be like, oh, PJ Washington's like their guy. Because they're posting him up. They're going to him. This isn't some PJ Washington's getting hot from 3 and he's taking 7 shots, but he made 7 threes, so it looks good. They are literally game planning PJ Washington to post up and do things.
I said in the middle of the game, if you told an alien that Luka was number 3 and SGA was number 2 in the MVP, they would have been like,
right.
So this PJ guy got number 1, right?
Yeah.
he was
Gotta be PJ.
I think his confidence, we talked about it after game 2. I think his confidence stemming from what Luka gives you, what Kyrie gives you, what this Mavericks team has empowered him to be and to become, they have given him the confidence that he was taking it to Giddey off the dribble.
Oh, yeah.
How many times throughout the regular season do we even see PJ attack off the dribble? But he was going into the paint, trying to finish, and he hit a bunch of 2s in this game too. It wasn't even just 3s. I mean, he went 5 of 12 from 3, which is 42%, which is really good. But he hit 6 other 2s outside of that. And his confidence, where it is right now, and the way that he's playing right now, the Dallas Mavericks absolutely needed an Aaron Gordon type. They needed those star role players that everybody around the league goes, dang, why don't we get that guy?
Yeah.
Why don't we get this one?
Yeah.
And they've got one in PJ Washington. The legend of him continues to rise. And game 2 PJ, and now there's game 3 PJ.
And it's not just PJ, it's Jason Kidd who deserves quite a bit of props here because here's the thing they're taking away Kyrie. So I thought it in game 2. I saw it in person. Their defense is built around when Kyrie gets the ball, we're doubling, we're helping. It's going to be very difficult for Kyrie to do Kyrie things. Luka's just not 100%. We know that. So the Mavs need offense from someone else. And the game plan is literally, so we know Lou Dort's going to be on Luka. We know J-Dub's going to be on Kyrie.
Yep.
There's going to be a smaller player or a bad defender in Josh Giddey on PJ Washington. And tonight it was. I was wondering after game 2, I was like, I wonder if they're going to switch who Shea's on. Because game 2 was Shea on PJ Washington, and PJ Washington was attacking Shea. Tonight it was Josh Giddey to start the game, and they went to PJ Washington immediately.
Right away.
This is clearly, this isn't just like, oh, there's a mismatch down there, let's get it to him. This is clearly a coaching decision, and what they want to do as a basketball team is have PJ Washington attack these small mismatches. And yeah, he's been remarkable, and he's been knocking down his threes on top of that. What'd you say, 5 of 12 from 3?
Yes.
We'll take that. 12 threes is insane.
Absolutely insane from PJ. I mean, it just, like, for him to go to this level, he's playing better than he played in the regular season. And it's because
23 shots.
Everything in the Kyrie got 17 shots, Luka got 17, PJ got 23.
6 more shots than Kyrie and Luka.
But it's because everything else is getting squeezed. Like you mentioned, their game plan. They've got Lou Dort selling out on Luka. They've got Jalen Williams selling out on Kyrie, and they're sending all the help and everything else. They're helping off of these shooters. We know that. And so there's going to be a third guy, which is why I thought it was so important for the Mavericks to get some kind of third scorer and to get somebody like that where all of a sudden they can help it, like, alleviate some of that, because there's going to be so much attention on 2 guys that you can afford to have, a third guy that's out there and, like, just flying around and getting one-on-one coverage or maybe even 1-on-0 coverage. And PJ Washington was that guy in game 2, and now he's that guy in game 3 as well. And man, PJ was just absolutely awesome. We're seeing him play in a way that he hasn't played. But what did I say after game 2? There's more stuff in his bag that he can show. Like, he was one of the few players in NBA the last couple of seasons that had over 100 pick and roll possessions as the roller and the ball handler. Now, he was not very good as the ball handler necessarily, but he's got more in his game that he can do. That 40-point game I'm pretty sure it was against OKC that
he's always been an OKC killer
in the regular season. And so he's got more to his game, and we're starting to see it now wildly in the postseason that I did not expect, but here we are.
I mean, those are the guys you want, though. I'm confident no matter what, guys, and that's who PJ is. And in playoffs against the 1 seed, I don't care. Like, I'm going to play my game. And it's just, watching it, it doesn't look like this, whoa, what's happening? Like, you watch him post up, and it looks like a bigger player posting up and going to work on a smaller player, like exactly how it's supposed to look. Like, it looks good in the flow of the offense. It doesn't look unsustainable. Is the thing, too.
No, he's just driving in and getting a little floater, or he's getting a wide open 3. I mean, these are things that are not super hard, but you just need somebody with...
You do. You need
somebody with the balls to take these shots, right? We've seen in the past Mavericks players shrink away from the shots, and we're seeing some OKC players shrink away from certain shots, and PJ is not one of those guys that is shrinking away. 23 shots.
Just like Nick said, you need the basketball to do it. That's what he was saying.
SGA and PJ Washington had the same amount of shot attempts in this game.
That is actually crazy. That is just insane. I mean, like, honestly, if you would have told somebody that going to the postseason, you would probably not think that's a good thing.
I'd be like, what if I told you PJ Washington and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had the same number of shots? Did SGA get injured?
Like, SGA get injured, or you would say, oh my God, the Mavericks lost by 50 points.
The Mavs got destroyed, and they played 25 minutes of garbage time.
Like, that's what.
Let's go.
Definitely what
Let
you
it
would
ride.
think. We're getting loud, proud, and rowdy, baby. We're getting loud, proud, and rowdy here at the American Airlines Center.
Absolutely are.
I'm in my white shirt. I was right there. I was calling Lou Dort a lot of things. And then they said, you got to get up there, dude. It's a bad look for our fan base.
But PJ, stepping up. I feel like that's the big story of the game, is that he was just awesome. He was stepping up.
The story of the game.
The
role players in general.
In an absolutely big way. And, you got role player contributions from a lot of different people. And the other thing that I thought was the story of this game was that the Mavs played their own game. The Mavs played their own game and mucked it up. You finished with, a 110 offensive rating for the Mavericks, which is bad. Like, that's not good. But 105 offensive rating for the number 4 offense in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who came in and in game 1 looked like they could not miss and looked like they were going to blow the Mavericks' doors off.
Yeah.
But the Mavs mucked it up. They slowed it down. They made OKC's offense double think about everything. Made their defense double think about a lot of things, but not everything. And then they made OKC. Mark Daigneault decided to hack a Lively, deck a Derek.
Yep.
They decided to intentionally foul him down the stretch. They did it
with 5 minutes left.
2, 3, 4 times they got him.
Yeah.
That, 4 times down the stretch they decided to intentionally, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And again, they did it with 5 or 6 minutes left in the game.
First one was at 5:55. They did it, and he made 1 of 2. And then the second one, the play right then later, he went 0 for 2. And then they subbed Lively out in the next possession when they could. And then the Mavs got into the bonus, this was very smart by Jason Kidd too. The Mavs got in the bonus, and then they put Lively back. They're like, all right, well, any fouls, we're going to the free throw line anyway. And so they put Lively back in with like 4 minutes left, and then 3.5 minutes left, they did him, and they fouled him again. Lively hit both of the free throws then, and then 3 minutes left, they fouled him again. He hit both of the free throws then. Got to give a lot of credit to Derek Lively for hitting those free throws. Huge, massive huge plays.
Especially 2 straight 2 of 2 trips after an 0 for 2 trip. Like, that's really big. And that's, when you're at the free throw line, the game is literally hanging in the balance. Like, the strategy of the game has shifted towards Derek Lively, you are deciding this game. The Thunder have basically said, we can't stop you on defense, and we do not feel confident making up. It was like a 5-point game at that point. We do not feel confident making up a 5-point deficit with 5 minutes left. So we're going to foul you, and we're going to force you to make free throws. And if you make 2 for 2, congratulations. And he went 1 of 4, his first 4 trips when they started doing that, and then huge, back-to-back perfect trips to the free throw line that pretty much iced the game almost.
That last one with 3 minutes left, the Mavs were up by 3.
Yeah, it's
they
huge.
They were up 3 and he hit both of them, which is just...
That was off a Joe 3. They got to stay connected to Joe out of timeouts.
Oh, my gosh.
They cannot leave that guy.
Well, the other thing is they can't put Tim on him.
They can't help off of him. That 3 right before halftime where PJ's in the corner, Shea's driving, like, you cannot help off one pass away from the strong side corner off Isaiah Joe. He's going to make that. That guy does not miss shots.
Not here. Not here.
You could tell me you shoot 68% from 3, and I'd be like, that passes the eye test.
Coming up, let's talk about how Luka and Kyrie contributed to this game because they made some absolutely huge plays as well. Luka finished with 15 rebounds, and we'll talk about the Lou Dort Luka matchup and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about all that and how the Mavs got this win coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks daily fantasy made easy. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com and pick 2 to 6 players and more or less on their stat projections. You're not playing against some guy in his basement with an algorithm. You're not playing against a whole group of people that all they do is play this. You're playing against the stats. It's just you and what you think a player is capable of doing in that specific game. They have NBA. You can do points, rebounds plus assists, all kinds of stuff like that. They also have MLB, and they have all kinds of stuff as well for the they have so much stuff for the NBA playoffs. You can win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Who couldn't use $1,000? Who has $10 but couldn't use $1,000? Like, that's pretty much everybody. So check it out. The #1 fantasy sports app in America. Go check out prizepicks.com. And if you use that code LOCKEDONNBA, you'll get a first deposit match up to $100. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNBA at PrizePicks. Also brought to you by eBay Motors. Check out eBay Motors. They have the passion, the drive, and the patience to take it to the next level. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die car, truck, SUV, I guess they have motorcycle stuff, anything alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle, level it up to peak performance, superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered with 122 million parts and the eBay Guaranteed Fit. That's the key. The eBay Guaranteed Fit makes sure that it's going to fit your car the first time, every time, or you get your money back because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash with all the parts that you need at the prices you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP. Bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions, they will and do apply.
My first shot, my first make.
Look at the Thunder people down here. The lighting setup. I'm wondering why Nick doesn't have that for us.
The lighting is better today.
We look this good with horrible lighting.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. Appreciate everybody that we saw at the game tonight. Met a lot of you guys, and appreciate everybody for finding us somehow. Yeah. If you're going to take a picture of me from really far away and, like, DM it to me, come say hi at least.
I agree. I don't like that very much.
That's the one that I... That's
a little strange to me. I agree.
That's the one I don't... No, just come say hi. I'm here.
Right.
Like,
we are friendly people.
I'm not in a box. I'm not, in the suite level.
Well, at least you're in the... I got some pictures. I'm just sitting in the crowd with my friends, and I'm like, this is a little strange. But I do love it, though. I'm not trying to, like...
He's up there shooting up.
Just chugging a beer.
Luka and Kyrie. We talked a lot about the best player on the court was PJ Washington for a long time, but Luka and Kyrie, 22 points each. Luka had 22 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. He had 4 turnovers. Lou Dort is a great defender, like a really great defender.
He's pretty good.
And yet,
he's too small for Luka is the reality.
He is.
If this were 100% Luka, I genuinely don't know how long this series would go. Like, I am just saying that, I still feel very good the Mavericks will win the series regardless. Because I'll just say I literally don't even know Luka's numbers. Luka 41% from the field, 25% from deep, 4 turnovers. I didn't think Luka was that good in this game.
He missed a whole bunch of
lot of floaters
right at the rim,
and they didn't look good.
No.
So I'm sitting, right
here.
there.
Here's his shot chart: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He missed 6 floaters like right at the rim that he just normally hits. And Cato mentioned this during the game that he has not been good at those floaters like all playoffs, basically.
Yeah.
It's something that he's just missing in the legs right there.
And it's like I have to emphasize this is it's not like he's back ironing them or like they're just like rimming out. They're like missing kind of badly. So that's something to keep an eye on. But Lu Dort's just too small. He just is. And you could tell by how Lu Dort resorts to what he does on defense, which is flopping all over the floor. It's all he does defensively.
Yeah, Matt Moore.
It genuinely is he spent this entire game on the ground. I'm just being dead serious. He is a great defender. I saw a tweet yesterday. It was like one of the NBA Central or whatever those accounts. They're like, who's the best defender here? And it was 4 people. And it was like Herb Jones, Jaden McDaniels.
Great.
I forgot who the other one was. It was another great like wing defender and Lu Dort. And I'm like, well, Lu Dort is easily the worst of this bunch. Like he just is comfortably. And I'm not trying to antagonize, but it is very frustrating watching this game. And Lu Dort is genuinely on the ground so much.
There's a lot of flopping both ways for sure, but Lu Dort doesn't have the ball, and he's flopping on defense.
There's nobody who flops more defensively than Lu Dort.
There is not, and that's what he's decided to do. And I think that there were, I don't know,
the first illegal screen of the game that Lu Dort got, I did not think was an illegal screen at all.
Woof. But that's what you got to do. And it goes back to our thing about the hack-a-shack being desperate. The flopping feels like it's desperate. The Thunder are looking like they're a little bit more of a desperate team than the Mavericks are right now because the Mavericks are controlling. They're making them play their game. The Thunder, how many fast break points did they finish with in this game? Not a lot. 11. Or 10. They had 10. They had 0 at halftime, I think. So the Thunder are not getting out and getting those easy buckets in transition. That was my big thing after game 1 is you can't have these lazy,
Can't turn the ball over.
Turnovers and things like that. It gives the Thunder life. And so when you don't have that, then all of a sudden, where else are they getting their shots? And the Mavericks did a great job running them off the three-point line. How many threes did they take in this game? They finished with 30. That's not enough for them. They have the same kind of issue that the Mavericks did a couple years ago where they have to win the math battle there because that's a big advantage for them. They're a much better three-point shooting team than the Mavericks. But the Mavs are starting to take away things. They took away Giddey. They've taken away some of Lu Dort's defense. They've taken away some of their threes. They've taken away transition. They're starting to take away some of these things. And now this is where you see a young, inexperienced team not know how to adjust. Yeah,
and this is why you look at a team like the Thunder who give up so many threes. They give up more corner threes than anybody in the NBA. And it's like, how can their defense be as good as it is, just numbers-wise? And it's because when you muck things up so much defensively, even threes are hard to come by, and it's just so much pressure to make them. And the Mavs are doing that defensively where I was running this earlier in the game. Lu Dort catches the ball. They are closing out so aggressively on him. And it's like they're jumping immediately, and I'm almost thinking, stay down on that. But it over the course of the game, it became obvious that that's their entire defensive plan is close out incredibly hard on shooters and force them to drive. Force them to drive into where we have all the bodies, and then we just have to make sure that our rotations are on point and that we're moving around. And the Mavs defense was phenomenal today.
Their rotations were on point.
I mean, that's one of the best defensive performances they've had as a team.
Yeah, you held the Thunder to 101 points. You held them to 105 offensive rating, and they took 33s. We mentioned that, but Dort took 7 of them. Giddey took 4, and you're like, okay.
You live with those.
Yeah, they took the most threes on the team, besides Isaiah Joe got 4, but 11 out of their 30 were taken by Lu Dort and Giddey. That's their plan, and their Thunder are playing right into the Mavs' defensive game plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 13 minutes for Giddey. And this was Giddey's best game, and that's still just – I do –
he had some good plays.
I mean, I'm very interested to see how the rest of this series plays out for him because he can't be on the floor. He just cannot. He is too much of a liability for someone.
Not a lot. I mean, you can play him 10 minutes like they did in this game. That's fine. He was a -1.
I got to be real. If this were 2K and I'm the coach, he's getting 0 minutes in the series. This is not a good matchup for him.
They start running out of guys. They start running out of size. Is what they run out.
Well, Gordon Hayward's also been horrible for them. He's been terrible.
He got 2 rebounds.
Yeah, and the only reason he even played today was because J-Dub went out for a tiny bit with.
J-Dub looked like he died.
I honestly I don't even know what I can't even speak on it. I don't know what injury it was. Was it an ankle?
So it was an ankle. So J-Dub.
I'm happy. I genuinely do like J-Dub a lot.
The wing Jalen Williams. He's been really great defensively on Kyrie all series. He gets screened by Josh Green. It looks like he kind of pushes Josh Green too, and then they both kind of go down, and then he's holding his ankle. The entire arena gets quiet.
Yeah,
because
it did not look good.
They're waiting to see because it didn't look good at all. I thought he was going to be done. Like I thought he was out of the game. He limps to the bench, then he goes to the locker room, and then he comes back and he's back at 10:22 left in the fourth quarter, just like nothing had happened.
I will say when you hurt an ankle in a basketball game, when it happens, you genuinely don't know what just happened.
Like, oh, I'm done. My career is over.
It's like I just tore ligaments I didn't even know existed in my foot, and then you're like 5 minutes later, you're like, oh, I'm good.
How many ligaments do you have in an ankle?
Yeah, exactly. You just tore all of them.
But speaking of him, though, they're also not getting a ton out of him offensively. He had 16 points.
Well, he lives off driving mid-range shots, and the Mavs are just taking that out of the equation entirely. Shea can still get him because he's crafty.
He's been so good.
He really has been incredible, and I know he's annoying with the grifting, but hey, listen,
what a caveat.
I know it has been annoying because listen, I've had to defend Shea a bit because that's been my guy for a very long time since his rookie season,
right.
and I've seen him play. I've watched his career very closely. I warned Thunder fans in my life that are big Thunder fans. I was like, people are not going to like you guys when you get to the playoffs. I'm just telling you guys that right now. But that little shoulder bump to get space, hey, that's a good move. That's a clean move. Luka, when he's on, he goes to that a bunch too to generate a bunch of space. So and he's been electric. So he can still sort of make things happen, but the rest of their team is really struggling with all of the things the Mavericks have in the paint, just throwing at them with lengthy defenders.
Yeah. I mean, he's been awesome, and there are reasons why the Thunder are here, right? I mean, Shea's getting these shots off, and like they look awesome, and he's been killing it in certain ways, but he also just didn't give them enough either. 31 points. I mean, it's just like a normal SGA game.
That's who Shea is. He led the league in 30-point games, and I think he had like 4.
Hey, we all know that was the reason why he was number 2 in MVP.
We
all know that point.
Stupid MVP.
Oh my gosh!
But he had like 4 40-point games. Like he scores 30 points, and a lot of that is because he's not a volume 3-point guy. So you're not going to get like those 3-point outburst games where he hits 6 threes and he has 48 points. But you're going to get 30-plus points from Shea. Yep. He's one of the most, if not maybe the most consistent scorer in the NBA, just on a night-to-night basis. But that's what you're getting, though. So you have to live with that. And 2 of 3 from 3, he's like every step back three he shoots in the series feels like it's going in.
He had 5 blocks in this game.
Is that right?
I can't. That is
wow.
He had 5 blocks in this game.
Well, one of them was an end of halftime heave, so that shouldn't count as a block.
Well, 4.5. We'll take
That's impressive. Wow, they had a lot of blocks as a team.
Well, Chet had 4. Chet is really great at the rim, but Chet is also not giving them enough offensively.
Yes,
he had 13 points, and he just looks like he's not. I mean, anytime you play physical with him, he's just is not comfortable with any of that.
That was my big thing for them, is if Chet's like this huge offensive swing factor for them in this series,
the centers,
then the Mavericks will have no answer for that basically with Maxey out, and he just has not been that. He just hasn't been. It's not that he's been like uber inefficient or anything like that. I mean, 5 of 9 tonight, but he just hasn't. It hasn't felt like he's been that aggressive, and the threes haven't been there. They've closed out well on him, and even if it's like a smaller guy closing out on Chet, it hasn't felt like he's attacked that the way that you would want. So they've done a great job on him.
Well, they keep starting PJ Washington on him and start one of the centers on Giddey or play him on Cason Wallace or Aaron Wiggins or whoever's the 5th guy. And that's worked for them. And one of my keys was that if Chet outplays the Mavs centers, that's a bad sign.
Oh, yeah.
Chet finished with 13 points. He had, 8 rebounds? He had 4 blocks. Lively had 12 points, 8 rebounds, so he almost outplayed him himself. And then Gafford had 8 points and 5 rebounds and 3 assists.
Wow. Lively, 12 points, 2 of 7.
Well, he went to the free throw line.
8 of 12 from the free throw line. We will take that, by the way.
Those are points.
Yeah, we will take 8
Turns
of 12
out.
from Lively, who's been really bad from the line in the last. If the Mavs, because Lively a plus 16 led the team in plus minus again. That's 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a coincidence because I went back and rewatched game 2, and defensively he solves a ton of things for you that I don't think Gafford can do. Personally, because Lively's just so much better in space defensively, which you have to be good at.
He's got a 7'7" wingspan.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, Gafford is 6'10".
Yeah,
but
true.
Lively is 7'1". Like there's a big difference between that, and there's a big difference between the wingspan too, and that helps you in space so much more.
But Lively just moves his feet better also too.
Yeah,
he just moves better in isolation or on an island or on the perimeter or whatever the case may be. If he can get comfortable. If he could get comfortable from the field, because he missed 2 lobs in this game.
Just pulled slightly back into the screen. He was like drifting off.
I'm just talking. Next thing you know, Nick is
he's hanging off screen.
But no,
I'm talking to myself.
I don't know how broadcasters do this because I'm just like such a. I just have so much energy that I just want to walk around and move around, like turn around. Look at
you can. I'm just gonna pull you back in.
But no, if Lively, who was 2 of 8 in this game, what was he? I'm sorry, 2 of 7 in this game. What was he in game 1 or game 2? It was like 1 of something.
Yeah, he did not.
It was like 1 of 8, wasn't it?
He did not shoot that well. He was, he
1 of 7.
1 of 7.
If they can get him comfortable in this series offensively, this is bad news bears for the Thunder.
He missed a bunch of finishes at the rim.
He missed 2 lobs.
He missed 2 alley-oops right at the rim where he just timed it wrong.
Yeah.
And Luka threw it up too high. Was it Luka and Kyrie? They both just threw it up a little higher than he was expecting, and then he didn't get it. But
well, I'm hopeful that maybe those free throws at the end of the game might get him feeling a little bit more. Huge props to him because it has not affected his defense whatsoever. No. But I hope those free throws at the end sort of get him going because the crowd is really into it, and he was hyping up the crowd after hitting the free throws. So, yeah.
It was absolutely great. I'm going to give Jason Kidd some more props for going back to Tim. Tim hit a couple of threes and hit another jumper, but not relying on him. He played 15 minutes and didn't play Tim the 20-25 minutes after a really good game. He didn't overreact to that one good game from Tim. I thought that was a good decision. And Tim did things.
Yeah.
So.
I thought this was a great Tim game. 3 of 9. One of his misses was a grenade that he got at the end of the shot clock, so I don't even really necessarily count that. But
also, one of his makes was a grenade.
Yeah, well, that's Tim Hardaway Jr. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
his first shot of the game was a wide open corner 3 that missed the rim by 20 feet. I mean, I saw it the moment it left his hand. I was like, that thing's about to go in the 3rd row.
It looked like the 3 I took this morning when we played basketball.
No, yeah, Nick and I got some hoops running today. I thought I tore several tendons.
We played full court.
We did play full court. I saw some people on Twitter like, full court at y'all's age? I'm like, hey, man, I'm in my 20s, man. I'm supposed to be at my athletic peak, all right? People really think I'm in my mid-30s or something.
We're so washed.
I'm in my 20s, all right? Anyways, no, he missed it badly, but I think he missed 2 shots on that opening possession because then he missed a 3 on the offensive rebound. So after that, he went 3 of 6. We'll take that.
Having him not be as such a liability just gives you one more guy, especially when Exum is just dribbling in circles in his minutes.
He's just not confident at all.
Man, the Mavs are finding the things they need to win this series. They're up 2-1. Series are long. It could change again, but these 2 games, the Mavs have made the Thunder play the way that they want to play.
Yep.
And the Mavs won a game without dominating from 3. They hit 1 more 3 than the Thunder.
Yeah, they won this game playing exactly like you said, playing their brand of basketball without a huge Luka or Kyrie eruption. And we can sit here and say, well, Kyrie's gonna go off at some point. I don't know. They're seeing in person the way that they guard. Like I want to throw Kyrie some bail here because early on in the 3rd quarter, I thought he passed up on some shots that were really good looks for him. So I think he does need to be a little bit more aggressive, but. They are defending him closely. They're denying the ball on him. They are sending a bunch of help when he gets to the ball. So it's not super easy for Kyrie Irving. It's not like kind of what we're used to seeing where Luke is getting the attention, now Kyrie's one-on-one. Like, that's not what's happening here. Yeah. So, I don't know. We might not get a Kyrie explosion.
Well, and Luka as the secondary driver is not as effective as Luka 100% healthy because he's not driving the same way. So
they're playing him like that.
Right. And so that changes the dynamicism of those 2 on offense. And they're not running as much Luka Kyrie 2-man stuff. They haven't run that really at all this series.
That's
if you think about it,
they need to do that. But then you think about it, it's like, well, their 2 best defenders are on Luka and Kyrie, so it's like
that's why they don't do it.
Yeah,
we know that's why they don't do it. But we'll see if that happens a little later. Were you surprised we didn't get the Chet Jalen Williams, like big Jalen Williams lineup again?
So
they tried in game 2.
No, not really. I don't like that lineup much for them at all.
I liked it. I kind of liked it for them.
This is kind of what we've been going back to saying is it feels like the Thunder are having to pull things out.
Yeah, they only
to feel comfortable in the series.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a lineup that they didn't go to at all in the regular season. Then they're intentionally fouling Lively with 5 minutes left.
It's the downside of having the number 1 played lineup in the NBA, and then all of a sudden one of those players being like, "Oh, we can't really play this guy in Giddey." Like that. That's tough.
Crazy. They played that lineup as much. That's crazy. They played that lineup as much as they did, knowing full well. Like anyone who watched the Thunder basketball is like, there's just no way Giddey's going to be playable in the postseason. Like, there's no way. But Dagnall had a comment yesterday where he was like, it's like the future of our team. Like, he's going to be a big piece here. They are very future-minded, even in the postseason. Like, you can just tell. Because if this were, I don't know, a team in their 30s mainly, Giddey's getting 0 minutes. Yeah. Like, he's genuinely out of the rotation like Dante Exum is pretty much.
Yeah, right.
But they're a young team, and they want Giddey to be a focal point of their future. And, I almost said something I probably shouldn't have said on here. So
Giddy's always thinking about the future.
Okay. I was gonna go worse than that.
I went tame for it. I made the joke, but went tame.
I was rambling because I was trying to formulate the joke in my head. I was like, I just probably shouldn't say this on here.
Oh my God. Yeah, the Mavs got exactly what they needed to win. The Mavs are starting to look like they know what to do in this series, and they're taking away stuff from the Thunder, and the Thunder look a little more desperate than the Mavericks. And I think that's good because the Mavericks haven't adjusted that much. They played small at the very end when we saw them take out Lively for a second.
Really, only because of the hack of Lively.
Just because of that.
Yeah.
And so we haven't really seen the Mavs have to get desperate and try a bunch of different stuff.
This happened in the Clippers series too, where it felt like at a certain point, it was really game 3, and the Clippers went on to win game 4, but we know that was a crazy 3-point shooting barrage. It was like
the Thunder can do.
The Mavericks have like kind of figured out what they want to do here and how they're going to win these basketball games. And that's what it feels like right now. But like you said earlier, it's a long series. This was the number 1 seed in a brutally tough Western Conference. Yeah. So this thing is far from over. You still got to get 2 wins. And this is the ups and downs of the postseason because, you lose on Monday night, then it's like, oh, God, now we gave up home court again. Like, so you just got to keep playing your game. And
they play 2 out of the next 3 at home, which is great. They play game 4 and then game 6.
It's crazy. It's like, this team is so weirdly good on the road.
The Mavs?
Where it's just like, especially in the playoffs, I don't really feel like this.
Well, they also don't get a huge home advantage necessarily. Like they haven't been so great at home that you're like, oh, what a great advantage.
I thought the crowd was pretty good today. People were tweeting me like, why is the crowd so quiet in the third quarter? There was like a 10-minute stretch where there was nothing to cheer about.
It's quiet because this building is so huge. Have you seen this? Have you seen how big this building is? Look at the ceiling.
This is a massive building.
One of my biggest takeaways from the OKC thing is that it's 2/3 the size of this building, and everything just seems so much closer together. The roof is so much smaller because they try to make this look like an airplane hangar. And so the sound just doesn't stay inside. Yes, Thunder fans are definitely louder than Mavs fans. Like they absolutely are. But the size of the building makes it sound like the pops when something crazy happens. They're just as loud when you're in it. But if you're trying to catch it from a mic or from the top level or whatever, it's it's not the same as if you're at OKC.
Plus, I've been vocal about this. There's a different crowd that comes to these games, I feel like personally. Because I was looking at OKC Thunder tickets, and they're just significantly cheaper. They just are. Yeah, now, I think that's the difference between like 1 million people living there and like 8 million people living in the Metroplex. But just more difference. Just more people who are willing to spend money. But you're getting a different crowd at these games, really. You feel it.
Can we spend 1 minute on why people don't wear the shirts?
Well, I'll say this. I want to say this. If any Mavs people are watching this, stop doing the 3 different color shirts. It's stupid.
The Thunder did that, and they got everyone to wear. Yeah, but Game 1, they did that, and everybody wore the shirts.
It's different because the Thunder do it to where it's like, all right, this column basically.
You got to talk into the mic.
This column basically is getting shirts. This column's getting the same color shirts. The Mavs do bottom row get a shirt, middle row get a different color shirt. It's stupid.
It's classist. Is what it is.
It is classist, 1, but 2, it's just like a stupid looking thing. And yes, nobody in the bottom row.
Also, the shirts are bad. I always feel like they're itchy every time I wear them.
I think they look fine.
You're wearing it over a shirt.
I am wearing it over a shirt. And I was this close to not doing it because I'm wearing a white shirt anyways. So I was like, so what's the rule on that? If they're giving out white shirts, but you're already wearing white?
I think it's just about buying in. I think that's what people want. Is people want to see you buy in and just wear the shirt. So you did it right.
And, I really have to put on because if people are like, Slightly Biased isn't wearing the shirt.
Man, slightly less biased than I thought he was.
I mean, I'm not wearing the shirt. Slightly's not. But no, the bottom row doesn't wear them at all.
No, not at all.
They just don't wear them. But part of it too is like, oh well, I paid $155 for this.
Guys, look, there's Mike Leslie of WFAA.
Mike Leslie.
What a professional.
Is that what you want to do one day?
Maroons. Me? No.
I have no idea what Nick's career ambitions are. Do you want to be on The Ringer?
I don't know if The Ringer can afford me right now.
Oh, nice. Nice. Well, they do have a lot of things going on with their unions, I saw. Anyways, though, like if you wear like a $200 jersey, it's like, I don't want to put I don't want to put over this.
And I feel like the shirts aren't big enough. Like this is fitting you.
XL. Well, that's the thing. What are you going to give out? I
wouldn't wear an XL shirt.
You can't give out double X's, though, because then they're going to be way too big on people.
Yeah, but do you know what city you're in?
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Let's be real.
And by the way, yes, I can fit into an XL. I'd be the amount of people who come up to me were like, 1, you're taller than I thought. I'm like, I'm not lying to you guys.
I can fit into an XL.
Nick gets that all the time too. You're taller than I thought.
Yeah.
But also too, people are like, you're skinnier than I thought. I'm like, yeah.
I don't get that one as much.
I'm like, thanks, I guess. I don't know what. I guess. Thanks.
Oh, man. There you go, guys. Thanks so much. Go check out Slightly Biased on YouTube. He'll have all kinds of stuff breaking down the game. We'll be back here continuing to cover this series. We'll have Reggie tomorrow. They made me and Reggie sit in different seats. They separated us. They didn't want us to sit together today. Guys, thanks for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom!
OKC, see you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, Game 4.
I might go to Game 5.